we're gladly beginning part dose on the transformation of the iroc seat from an automatic to a manual. So the first thing you need to do is scatter your tools everywhere. And step 2 is disconnect the battery. I think that's the right order. Anyway, I've already did a few things just to kind of speed the process up. As I told you, I already removed the console lid because you're going to need a new one. You might need to buy one or make one, whatever you really feel you need to do. You'll have to disconnect your shift linkage from the shifter. It's right here. It also has 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts in it, maybe 5. I can't remember. But this is your shifter. To hold the shifter on, it has a little pin back here you'll have to pull out with either a pick or a flathead screwdriver. And I've lost the shifter, else I was... Oh, there it is. See that? That's your shifter. And it doesn't matter if it's round or square with a button on it. It should be the exact same. That faces in the front, so you won't be able to see it. So you just reach a little screwdriver in there, pop that thing out, and she lifts right off the shifter right here. So after that, you remove all that good stuff. You see this? Let me get some light. Hold on. Right there. That's your shift cable. That right there is neutral safety, maybe. Maybe that's shift cable. One of them's your shift cable, and one of them's the kick down. I don't remember which one's which. Either way, you gotta disconnect both of them. And then you'll be shoving both of them down through the floor. Why? Because you don't need them anymore. You're going to a manual. You know. So, like I said, I've already proceeded a little further past than, you know, what I've recorded, just because I like to party, and man, it's cold in here. Dang it. But anyway, hopefully insulation coming real soon. Anyway, I want to show you a trick on the torque converter, because that'll be one of the first things that you disconnect. As we slide underneath this spacious, oh man, I got a heck of a mess, don't I? Well, anyway, so what I was going to show you. This here is your flywheel. You'll absolutely have to unbolt it. It has 4 bolts up front here. This one no longer has any because I've removed them all. However, this sucker is going to spin, and it's gonna, you're gonna say, what the frig? You know, that's gonna spin with it. Mine's already disconnected, that's why I'm showing you this. But don't lose those bolts. You may want to put this 700R in another vehicle maybe, because I'm planning on rebuilding this one. Maybe for a V8 S10 later, I'm not really sure. But anyway, see these holes right here? Nope, you know, hold on. Dang on it. Get in there. See those holes right there? You can take a flathead screwdriver, such as this bad boy right here, and you can do 2 things. One, you can spin it to rotate it where you need to be, and you can also hold that sucker like that while you break these bolts loose over here, allowing that not to move, because it's going to move on you. So you do that. You can hacksaw through your lines if you don't plan on using them anymore. I chose the Delete model. Disconnect your shift linkage, and oh yeah, your speedometer cable. Where in the world is my light? There we go. Speedometer cable. You can take a pair of pliers and just twist that off. It's not super duper tight. We still have the trailing arm to take off. That's not a big deal. I think they might be 13mm or something. There's 3 of them, I think, that holds it on. But you're also going to need to remove your drive shaft, which I've already taken out. That's going to be also one of the first steps that you do. Torque converter, flywheel, torque converter. Actually, I think I did the drive shaft first and then the torque converter. It don't matter, as long as you get them out of there. And then you can do this torsion bar. I am now to the point of, I believe, starter. It doesn't really, I don't think it matters too much the way you go. But as for this, somebody has made I mean, them starter bolts are not factory. So that's good. And I bought brand new starter bolts for it just because of that. So I'm going to remove those, drop it down, remove the wiring from it, get the starter out of the way because you absolutely need your starter. And then I'm going to come back here to the torsion bar, take them 3 bolts out, get this out of the way, and then I'm going to work back toward the front, I believe, and get the bell housing bolts. Or maybe the transmission mount. That bolt right there. Yeah, might get that. Then those, because then if you let this thing down a little bit, it does make it a lot easier to get to those bolts around the bell housing. So yeah, I think that's the way we're going to fly with it. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the starter, those wires. Then we're going to disconnect, like I say, the torque arm, the transmission mount and cross member, get that out of the way, and then we're going to place our jack probably with a piece of wood underneath here so we don't puncture our pan, and let it down just a little bit, and it'll make it a lot easier to get to these bolts up here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop to it, and I'll let you know if I come to any big train wrecks. All right. Okay, well, guys, I can tell you we got the transmission on the ground. That being said, hopefully your guys' transmission is stock and nobody's messed with it. This one's had a shift kit put in it and it was out. Let me just show you here. I had to end up cutting the dipstick tube off. One, it was rotten anyway. Two, I just want to show you this. Can you guys see these nice kinks here? This is what happens whenever somebody engineers it to where, well, we don't need that bolted down. And they just bend it around, you know, because, you know, they like to party. And furthermore, they had it wedged. Yes, more great wiring I have to fix. But they had it wedged like right here. Now that wouldn't be so bad if they wouldn't cut into the stinking heater core wire. I'm sorry, which you probably can't see, but it's on this side here, and that sucker was gnawing on it pretty stinking good. So I get to fix that now. And then this wiring, and then there's more wiring underneath that was how I like to describe not gooder. So that was fun. But being that they built this in such a way, I don't even know how the heck they put that bolt in there, but they did, and all the bolts was actually in the transmission. Not all were tight. And if you're seeing my hands here, they're nasty. And I got a buddy, Jeremy Landrum, very good guy, and painted a car. You've seen the old Bandito, he painted it. Anyway, he always tells me he loves cars that sling oil. Well, this sucker, I'm gonna bet, has an oil sending unit. behind the distributor or right there by it, I bet you that sucker's hosing, because there is oil all underneath. So this thing for 1988 is pretty well reserved underneath. Not because of, what was that, undercoating stuff, I forget what they called it. But anyway, in the 80s, they called it something, you could get it. Anyway, Z-barred, that's what they used to call it, Z-barred. It's not Z-barred, it's like 10W30 or whatever underneath there. Because it's, I mean, it's in good shape though. I mean, really. Like, not rusted out in the floorboards, any of that stuff. Not even, I mean, there's like 3 little spots in the driver rear, and they're coming to be gone by this time, you know. Anyway, we did get the transmission on the ground, or on the jack. Now, there's a cable you'll have to shove down from the floor. One of those ones I showed you. You'll see which one. The shifting one, I believe. There's also one underneath the hood. And it is the kickdown. She connects right here. And she's right there. Now on a manual transmission, you don't need one of those. Because you just hit her down a second and you punch it, you know. And then you blow second gear out. So that's not too bad to do. You just simply unplug it there. See how that, oh, wait a minute, you're looking at me, huh? This is the way it goes on. And then you just pull it up, let it snap back. Then you take needle nose pliers and squeeze on those 2 clips sticking out. Right there, shove her back. Don't cut it, you're gonna need it. That's your kickdown. You can buy a new one, but why buy anything extra that you don't need to? So the only thing we have left to do is the flex plate. There's nothing to it. I think there's like, what, 5, 6 bolts? I think there's 6 bolts to it. We're gonna zing those suckers out, and it's cold. So I think after this, we're gonna call it a wrap. And this right here, let me get this shift to E10 out just to make sure nothing else catches before I call it quits on this here episode. And I'll show the transmission from under the car, all that good jazz, and I'll show you where the bolts are, all that good stuff, and what you'll need, okay? Hence, get some long extensions and a swivel. Definitely. 14 millimeter, if these bolts were correct. Give me just a minute, I'll let you know if anything else happens. Alright kids, transmission is out. I did run into a dilemma, and I ran into one little thing that I found. The old kickdown, she was about kicked on out of it. I'm going to dare to say she's original. That right there is 1988 kickdown cable. And I ran into that. Also ran into, I think this is it. Yep. This little sucker right here. I was wondering why my impact kept getting kicked off. It's because one of these corners was already rounded. And remember how I told you this thing was rebuilt? It was. To my surprise, it was someplace called CP Competition Race Transmission in Lake Placid, Florida. Now, I'm not gonna lie, first to second, this thing was a mule. I mean, she kicked stinking hard. And I would have left it an automatic, honestly. I wouldn't even have bought the other car for parts if the old transmission wouldn't have been going out. It's hard to tell how long that thing's been redone, because she is absolutely oil soaked. And yeah, I don't know if you can tell or not, it's just above freezing in the old garage, and I'm just waiting on Mr. Heater parts, you know. I can't remember where I'm ordering them from, but I thought they was supposed to be here. maybe it's not till next week. Hopefully they get here soon, because it's cold here in Ohio. Anyway, so we was able to get that. If you do not have an impact, you can use a screwdriver. Go slow, and you can wedge it against the bottom side of the block. Hold on to it and break your bolts loose. I hope you guys have an impact. My electric Harbonese freight one didn't have enough power to her, so I had to break out the Airmaster and my 20-year-old Blue Point. But man, I'm telling you what, it did the trick. Also, if you're having one of these bolts start to round on you, instead of going to a 12-point socket, go to a 6-point. 6-point? 5-point? 6-point? Whatever it is. The exact same amount of sides a bolt has. I think it's 6-point. So instead of going to the multi-tooth, go to the bare min that just fits on there. I had to hit it on there with the hammer. You have a lot less chance of stripping the rest of it. So let me show you what I mean, just in case you don't know. See how that don't have many points on it? It's just got a regular bolt head looking thing, see? So if you get one of those, rather than a multi-point socket that just, you know, you don't really have to aim too much and just zing it on there, that right there is going to give you a lot more chance of success. Also, whenever you're fishing this cable through the intake, you're going to fish it by the distributor and your oil sending unit that's probably leaking. So I'm going to also change the oil sending unit while I'm here, because it is so much easier. Let me show you. I'll show you how much easier it is. From the top, I'm not sure you can see it. From the back, it's right underneath. I'm on my own shadow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Right. What is going on? Alright, you see the rusty looking fella right there? Hopefully. She's a pouring. Oh, there it is. It's a hosing. It's hard to see. But what happens is, the seals go bad in those, and if you can't see it, it's right there at that elbow. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm trying like heck to show you. It's a bell looking thing. It's right there. Yep, there it is. So believe me when I tell you, they're a heck of a lot easier to change while you're back here. But they leak, and they leak, and they leak. They're known for it. Especially like the just before Vortec style engines, like this 88 model. And they have one down there and they have one on the other side of the block. One's a sending unit and one's a oil gauge thingy. One goes to the computer, one goes to the gauge. Nonetheless, if one goes out, your gauge is going to go crazy or not read. It might get buried, you know. It might bury the gauge is what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, I hope I did a good enough. I'm sorry, I didn't want to show you all the boring detail about removing a transmission, because there's no, like this one here, look at this. It was actually split, I think on the back side or somewhere. I could see it was split. He kinked it every which way. It was not put in there right. So do yourself a favor. If you can't get it, you must be doing it wrong. You know, fish it down through the top first or something. You know, hopefully you're doing like me and you ain't got to worry about it. You're just going to throw a 5-speed in there, bolt the bell on first, then throw the transmission up in there. That's a hint. That's what we're going to do. Also, guys, if you have a non-new, meaning it's been sitting for at least, I think, a year. I set it in my other little tiny shed garage thingy for a while, and I'm going to clean that with a plastic, non-abrasive, just kind of like get the rust off of it kind of deal, because I don't want to dig into it and make it untrue, you know. And honestly, it's not pitted, it's just surface rust, so I'm not going to turn it. It's honestly, if you can see this, it's honestly a fairly new clutch. I mean, she's not bad at all. And it's a name brand one, if I remember right. It's like a, it's not a monster, but it's another one that's a real good one. Like, I can't remember, but I remember thinking, man, it does have the clutch in it, because the guy I bought it from, he told me the kid just put the clutch in it and that it was a good car. Oh man, I hate to do that to the car, but it was just, by the time I got it, it was on the verge of too far. And do I really want to do that car whenever I have a convertible? I kind of did, but money and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, the car had been sitting outside, and it was actually kind of solid for, anyway, that's another time. See me out, we'll talk about it. You know, I love talking car stories anyway. But that right there will do it for tonight. It is 37 degrees in here, so it's time to call her a night. I got work in the morning, so you know, that's okay. I'm not sure when this one's going to air. I think it's the week of Christmas, Thanksgiving. So just know I'll be making more videos. This one's part 2. Part 3, we're going to cut a hole out, and we might just go ahead and mount the transmission up in it. And I got some more tricks up my sleeve that I need to show you. Until then, guys, thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, if it is Thanksgiving. I think it's going to be. If not, it'll be close. So happy Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Be careful out there. People are crazy. Anyway, if you don't mind, yeah, it's one of them two. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I was originally, you know, I was wanting to show that sucker off. I am so proud of that. But mine's are up here. Anyway, I made that the other night because, you know, I like to party. And anyway, guys, hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hopefully it's helping one of you. If it's not, shoot me a message, man. I don't care to answer your questions, if I can help at all. So thanks for watching. We're up over 70 subscribers. Guys, thanks so much. It really, really, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So thanks to every single one of you. You'll have a great weekend. Right turn out.